In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth on telepathy, remote viewing, and the whole collective consciousness. I'm going to share with you understandings that we have about these abilities and how we can apply it in our life in a powerful way. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the understanding of these abilities that we have to use remote viewing, telepathy, understanding that these are in a way abilities that we have had that because we haven't practiced or because we haven't believed in the understanding of it, we haven't experienced it for ourselves. I'm going to be sharing with you some ideas about how people do this and why it works and what we can do to apply it as well in our own lives. Even if we don't do these exact things, how can we really integrate the understanding so that we do expand our consciousness and expand our abilities at the same time? So with this process, something that I've been learning lately is I've been diving more into some of the esoteric stuff about the abilities people have. Some things even, like this might sound like an esoteric thing like remote viewing, but the truth is remote viewing has been around a very long time. Remote viewing is something that yogis I've been able to do. It's something in India that it's generally accepted is an ability once you get to a certain state of consciousness. If you even look towards our government, for example, or back government, however we want to look at it, there are government organizations of whistleblowers that have used to be in the government for 20, 30 years that said that there are programs for remote viewing where people are trained to do it to then, in a way, spy on other countries, find other people where other people are. And it's very interesting because a lot of times it's very credible people that are saying it. And when I look into it, I see that there's a correlation to where this understanding of remote viewing is something that I do believe is real. I believe that it is something people are able to connect into. And I find it very interesting because it's something that really can expand our own consciousness as to why something like this can happen. Now, I'm going to talk about how we can apply that in a minute, that understanding at least. But then there's this other understanding of what is called telepathy. And I've seen videos before on it. I've always had and felt like we are really able to read other people. Now, first off, what is telepathy? Telepathy is when we are able to, in a way, think and understand what somebody else is thinking. In a way, read their thoughts. Now, telepathy a lot of times is given like this understanding of like maybe from the X-Men, you know, one of the Xavier from X-Men who's able to read other people's minds. I think it could be somewhat literal like that, but what I think telepathy actually is more like empathy. Empathy, the empathetic part of ourselves, which we all have. We all have the ability to think and put ourselves in someone else's shoes. But also what telepathy is when we are in the same vibration of somebody else, meaning that we are vibrating at the same frequency, we are able to pick up on the thoughts that they are having. So many times we think telepathy, however we want to call it, however someone else is thinking the same thoughts, we're able to read their thoughts. It's really we're able to put ourselves in their shoes subconsciously and think the same thoughts at the same time. So you'll notice a lot of times that couples that have maybe been around each other for a very long time, maybe they have the same thoughts and they are thinking the same things, they almost finish each other's sentences. Well, the idea is that they're doing that because they are also, when you are around somebody very often, you entrain with their thought processes and you start to actually become a lot more like them. That's why sometimes even you'll see couples that start to look like each other. It's a similar type thing. And they're in the same vibration, so they take on similar characteristics subconsciously. In the same way, they will be vibrating at the same frequency. They will be around each other and trained with each other's subconscious mind and their vibration, therefore thinking the same thoughts at the same times a majority of the time. So how and why does this happen? Why do we have the ability, if we learn remote viewing, to literally view different parts of the world from the location of us being physically in our house or in some place, and we're able to go and see something else? Well, the reason being is because we are all connected. We are all part of a universal consciousness, of a universal grid. You could almost think of it like the universal subconscious mind. We are all connected to the universal, or even the collective. Let's just keep it collectively so we can more easily understand it. There is a collective consciousness that we are all a part of. And because of that, anything that we are perceiving of, this connects to the collective subconscious mind. And this is something that exists within that energy field. So when we are intending to look for something in the field that is outside of our body, if we put ourselves into a deeper brainwave state, now that's what's necessary in order to remote view, is getting from more of the alpha and the beta state that we are naturally in and moving it more into the deeper layers of our own consciousness, of going to more of a theta type state. And when we get to a theta type state, that's a deep meditative state. And in that state, this is when we are able to perceive and set intentions and do certain processes, visualizations, for us to start to pick up on these kinds of things, of where things can be. And the government has done a lot of tests, and even if it's not the government, it's behind the back government, whatever you want to call it, done a lot of tests where they take test subjects, they teach them remote viewing, and then what they'll do is they'll put certain things, they won't give them the actual location, they will tell them certain things about it, they will ask them about what is there, and they will test them to see. And it's very cool to see how accurate people are to be, especially people that don't know it, that didn't learn it, that a couple weeks later are able to do it. So the thing is we are able to do things like this too. And one of the reasons being is because we are all connected to this universal consciousness. And when we start to realize that, that's where we start to really shine with what we can do, with the abilities that we have. And that's the purpose of this video, is to help you expand your own awareness and to understand that your abilities, that what you can perceive of in your life, it's so much further beyond that which you're currently living. But the way that you get entry into this level of power is through awareness. You have to be aware that it is something you can do, or you have to at least let go of your current belief system about the way the world works. So this is about that awareness. So let's also look at it from this perspective. The thoughts we are thinking, there's an electromagnetic energy of our body. This is something that I've shared a couple times before. There's an electromagnetic energy that goes far beyond our body. We see, oh, this is my hand, it ends right here. In reality, it's much further beyond. We have an auric field that goes around us, an electromagnetic field that goes around us, and we have a toroidal field that goes around our heart. This is something that the HeartMath Institute has showed as well. And this HeartMath Institute has showed that the electromagnetic energy of the heart is thousands of times more powerful than that of just the head. So the idea is that when we start to feel, we start to really influence our energetic field and our electromagnetic field in a very powerful way. So in the same way that we are thinking and feeling these thoughts, the thoughts exist around our body with momentum from about the past 20 to 30 days, sometimes even longer than that, depending on the intensity of it. So there may have been something that happened a couple weeks ago. Maybe you got excited about something, and that really spiked inside of your energy field. Now what happens is you carry that around within your energy field for a period of time until you stop practicing that vibration, and then it goes out. Same thing if maybe you have something that negative happened and it made you feel down, then it could be something that, even though you're starting to let it go, exists within your energy field. The power is in knowing that sometimes there's a little bit of a lag time, but as long as you keep focusing on positive things and emotions that serve you, you increase this vibrational field of your body. Now, the reason I explain that is because in the same way there's an electromagnetic field around our body, we are in a macrocosm, microcosm type experience. So there are cells inside of our body that are moving around, that make up and combine up to make the cellular structure of who we are. Now we have organs, we have different parts of our body that have different functions, and in the same way, we are 70% water or more. We are certain different levels of elements. In the same way, that also works for the planet itself. The planet is over 70% water, and in the same way that we have this electromagnetic energy around our body, the Earth has an electromagnetic energy around her body. And the reason I say that is because then we can see that our thoughts, our emotions, what we think and feel that's around our body, collectively that's going around the body of Earth. And we exist in Earth, therefore, or on Earth, or however we want to look at it. And because of that, there's a certain toroidal field that goes around the planet as well. This is the subconscious mind of the planet. This means that what you think and feel, you're creating your own reality, but we're also collectively creating the reality together, the collective reality. So the power in knowing this is that we are all connected. We are all part of the one. And when we start to realize we are part of the one, that we are all connected, we can then see from a much higher point of view how this all interlines, how we can see and perceive of things in the field that are in different locations because we are all connected to the subconscious mind. So this can be a game changer. This can help us really see ourselves in a completely new way. And that's why something like telepathy is something that we're able to do as well. Because we are all connected, and the other person that you're looking at the deepest point of view, is another version of the energy that exists within you. Not the ego necessarily, but it's a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of that deeper state of consciousness. So when we start to tap into this, this is where things really get fun. This is where we really start to expand our abilities into a completely new way. And now what I want to do is share with you of how you can actually do some of these things. So to be honest, I'm learning a lot of it right now. I'm not a perfectionist I don't have it all figured out, but I will say that I am learning to regulate my brainwave patterns from being more of an awake state to more of a theta deep meditative state, and to then perceiving of things that are beyond my normal perception of 3D physical life. So what I'm saying to you is that if you start to focus more on your brainwave states and you start to focus on getting deeper, that's where you're able to really influence your life in a powerful way, because that's where the subconscious mind is. That's where this collective consciousness, subconscious mind is, and we start to tap into that when we move deeper into brainwave states. So the powerful part, something I've also shared many times before, but it is really powerful, is when you wake up in the morning, you're moving from the theta, the delta, to the theta, to the alpha, to the beta state. And then in the daytime, you normally stay between alpha and beta, unless you meditate, where you then start to drift back into theta, but then we normally stay consciously there. When we're growing up, the idea is between being born until about the ages of 8 to 10, we're primarily in a theta state. A theta state is closest to the subconscious mind. That's why when you grow up, you are literally absorbing the beliefs of your parents, you're absorbing your environment, and that's becoming a part of who you think you are, and that will continue to run itself out most of life unless we become aware of it, and in the awareness is where we can change it. Now, when we get to about the age of puberty, that's when we start to drift mainly into an alpha-beta state. And in the alpha-beta conscious states, there's much less influence over the subconscious mind than that of the theta state. So the part of this is knowing that when we meditate or we find things that put us more into a theta state, we're getting closer to our subconscious mind, and that's where we can influence our subconscious mind to let go of past ideologies, to let go of rigid belief systems, to then know that something like remote viewing is possible for us. Something like telepathy, empathy, is something that's a natural state of something we do. We're just unaware of it. And the more we believe and understand that awareness is the more we can practice it. So what I encourage you to do also as just a very basic manifestation practice is as you're going to bed at night, feel the emotions that you want to feel, that you want to influence your subconscious mind. Because as you drift into that theta state, as you're going to bed at night, that's where it leaks into that subconscious mind, and that can then create that for you. So that I found to be very powerful. I also view the abilities that I'm able to tap into, this level of consciousness, as something natural for me. So I feel it as I'm going to bed, and I find that it's very powerful. So I encourage you to do the same thing as well. So most of our life is ran by our subconscious mind. And what I did is I've created a free guided meditation that will help you to influence your subconscious mind in a very powerful way so that you're able to experience what you want more easily than ever. It's something that I've been giving away for a while. So many people say that it's changed their life. I want to give that to you as well if you haven't gotten it already. It's in the top of the description box. So you can download that, and it will help you to reprogram your subconscious mind. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days to get the maximum benefit out of it. and I think it can really help you. So it's in the top description box if you're interested in that. Also, I'm going to be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you want to interact with me, ask me questions, then go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'll go ahead and link it right over here for you. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification gear so that you guys can see the daily vids that I do. The way YouTube does things now is you actually have to do that in order to see the daily vids. And other than that, as always, peace, much love.